Hey, everybody. GameHounds podcast. Here we are. Nope, not GameHounds news. That's coming later. There we go. Because we're professionals. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Andrew Smith and Nick DeNicola. We're just doing our early show, and they're trying to convince me because I don't know if you can see. I have to move my there we go, my mic stand. You can see that it's chilly here, so I've got the fireplace going to kind of take a little bit of the chill off without running the heater because it's so expensive. And Andrew suggested that I do fireside chats with you.
Yeah.
Okay, we need
put us in a laptop, put it on a little stool, get a bean bag right next to the fireplace, and just
bottle of Cavassier.
Yeah, see, imagine yourself leaning back in a bean bag with that mic like over you like that, and you're just sitting there with the fire on the side.
You need zombie wine and like a thing
the
of bubbly
Walking Dead
next
wine.
to you. Yeah, that's what you need. Not like anything.
The Walking Dead, a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah. So
yeah, okay, we could do a little zombie wine.
And then, like I said, a can of bubbly, the seltzer water. Yeah, exactly.
There it is, right there. That's the stuff.
So, people who are here, would you want?
Are you gonna say and then mix them into a glass?
No, just as props. Like she never interacts with them. Maybe she has a glass of wine that she never drinks.
And knows what I'm talking about, like the ladies' man. It's the gamer man.
So yeah, chat. Would you guys like? Would you like a GameHounds After Dark? I think we could do it.
No, we could not.
I could try to get another laptop, put like the Yule log from Netflix on, and have that next to me, and then do the podcast as usual.
You could do that. You could do that.
I think this is a good plan.
No,
we'll do that. We can do that for Christmas, the Christmas GameHounds episode.
Oh, we could do GameHounds Christmas. I could, get my Christmas hat and everybody dress in red and white, and we just sit around and talk about all the games we don't have because we don't have the consoles.
Well, you guys have the consoles.
I have the console. I got both.
Mm-hmm. Mine's coming on Tuesday. My PlayStation 4 is coming on Tuesday.
I have now had them both long enough to be thoroughly impressed and disappointed in both.
All right.
It's good to know.
Yeah. Let me start. Ooh, no, I do not want to do that. I almost started us up going out to my neighborhood. That would have been bad.
Why? That'd be a lot of viewers.
No, it actually is less. There's only like 25 people that listen to the Daily Show, but they really love it. And it keeps their spirits up as we're in our lockdown. Yeah, so we're in a curfew as of right now. Are you guys curfewed over in Iowa?
Oh no, never. I mean, like we're gonna need max out hospitals before we go anywhere near that. I'm not even sure we'll close again.
Really? You're not even closed? You have as many cases per day as we do.
Yeah, 3,200 today, like 4,000 in the last couple days, a little bit over that.
But I need to check on fires.
Yeah, don't burn down your house. But yeah, COVID is spiking in Iowa pretty bad.
Yeah, it's spiking everywhere. It's just that the reactions to it are different in every state.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's going up everywhere. I know San Francisco, like 2 weeks ago, made a big point of being like, we're in the yellow zone. Like, we're the lowest zone of the state. We're yellow. And now they're back up to purple, which is the highest.
Right. You're Santa Clara. Are you Santa Clara or are you Alameda?
Alameda.
Yeah. Alameda.
But I was talking about San Francisco. Because I remember back when he announced the restrictions for theme parks, they were all like, yo, this is fucked up. Like, you can't put us in yellow. By the time everything is yellow, the pandemic will be over. And San Francisco was like, oh, but we got to yellow. You can do it too. We're in yellow and it's good. We did it. And 2 weeks later, fuck, we're in purple again.
Yeah, you bypassed red and went directly to purple.
Yeah. Like it just leapt up. So,
I'm glad to see your cat again.
Complacency equals death when it comes to this virus. It's the minute you think, I got this. That's when you're about to face plant.
The other cat's over there, and he might come over here at some point. But
all right, so let me start the show.
Wait, what says there's like 5 people in Iowa, more corn than anything. They don't have a curfew, miles apart from neighbors.
Yeah, and they're also hitting almost as many cases per day as California is in Iowa right now. Oh, yeah, there's... I am very thankful we're in California because we get a lot of news because we have so many cases, but people here take the mask thing super seriously and the social distancing super seriously as opposed to other places in the country. And it shows because if we didn't take it seriously, we would be awash in it. I think our positivity rate is like 3.5%, whereas, other places are 11 and 12%. It's pretty significant difference.
I have to look it up, but apparently Douglas County was like 30%, which is not my county, but it's the county next to me that Omaha's a part of.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're 3%. Yeah, and we're way more densely packed than you guys. So, hey, dudes, masks and social distancing fucking works. Otherwise, California would be like, we'd all be dead right now if we didn't do it. We're just way too tightly packed. So what is the episode? 572. It is, the Black Friday show 2020.
Oh, jeez. I'm trying to find some news, and it is all just like, hey, here's your sales for coming up.
There's a reason why we're doing a Black Friday sale. Or Black Friday show because there's really very little else that anybody has talked about. I've got a couple of things that I've followed in the last week or so, but it's pretty much nothing but Black Friday. Okay. Shall we hit it?
Yeah.
Oh, and I just backed out, so I don't have to do it entirely over. I just have to pull the photo back up. GH logo. Oh, I almost put the wrong logo on there. That would have been bad.
The GameHounds? What is that?
Yeah, no, I almost put the Point Connect
we are the
radio show logo on the GameHounds show.
Want to come up?
We are the Game Cats now, Edie.
We have more cats. I mean, we do. We have more cats.
There we go.
We have more cats.
Yeah, that's because he sleeps during the day,
dogs.
so I'm being brave. Just don't piss anywhere. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
All right. You ready to go live?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
All right, mics are hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 572. We are recording this on Sunday, November 22nd, the last Sunday before Black Friday and before Thanksgiving. I'm Edie Sellers. I'm here with Andrew Smith and Nick DiNicola. How you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good. I slept till 1, so I'm happy.
Nice.
I slept until 11, and that's actually fairly short amount of sleep because Nick, we were on Xbox together and we were playing along, and Nick was the first person I've ever talked to on Xbox and found out something very interesting about the Xbox Series X and S. It doesn't come with a headset. I believe this is the first console ever that has not come. I mean, that had voice capability that did not come with a headset. And I just realized, oh crap, what am I going to do? The Xbox One headset works with the Xbox Series X. They made a very big point of making sure that hardware and peripherals from the Xbox One will work with the Xbox Series X.
There's another console that doesn't come with a headset.
PlayStation 5, I'm sure.
Yes.
Does the old PlayStation, but is it a RCA jack, just like a little headphone jack?
I'm pretty sure it does. Yes, because the headset I was using on Xbox is an old PS4 headset.
All right, good.
And I was just about to say, like, you say that, but the PS4 headset that came with this console was like a headset.
Hey, I have been using that headset for the past 8 fucking years.
Me too. It was the best headset. It was the best sounding. It was the easiest to use. It was very low tech. Mine is actually broken in half. And every time I have to use it, I have to put it back together again and then put it on my head. And I will continue to use that because I don't see any reason to upgrade it.
That's not the out-of-the-box headset, though. The out-of-the-box headset for PlayStation 4 was literally the one earbud with the inline.
That's what we have.
Yep. That's what I've been using.
That's what I've been using.
Okay, no, I mean...
Also,
I went looking to buy another one because I prefer that one. I actually like that headset.
Yeah, it doesn't get in the way. I'm also very jealous. There has not been a better gaming headset since the 360 one-ear one that went over your ear. Like, it was comfortable, it connected easily, it sounded good, it transmitted good. Nothing.
The best headset I ever owned. By far, the best headset I have ever owned, and that includes like all the broadcasting headsets that I bought over the years, was a freebie giveaway when the Xbox 360 came out. And Major Nelson gave out Major Nelson branded headsets. It was a throwaway item. It was the best headset I have ever owned. And it was made by Plantronics back in the day when they actually put good mics in the microphones. Now they spend all their money on the speakers in the headset. They don't put any money into the microphone, and it's a problem.
Honestly, that's a problem
headset
all over.
Was a tank.
These are Plantronics.
Yep.
These are old Plantronics.
Honestly, like, having a good mic has been a problem pretty much everywhere, which is what's crazy. Like, every time I get a new headset, it usually has a terrible mic.
Right.
That being said, I guess I shouldn't really say anything about headsets because my best friend who's in the chat, Sugo, we play games a lot together, and constantly it's breaking up. Like, every night, like 4 or 5 times, it's, hey, you're breaking up, and it's just so frustrating. Like,
he's breaking up or you're breaking up?
I'm breaking up, and it's the headset I got. I went out to like GameStop and bought a $20 crap headset because mine had broken, and I'm still using it, but it has become terrible, like so bad.
Yeah, you have to take care of your headsets because they only get worse. They have only gotten worse over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
The cheap ones, I would actually pay premium. If I could have those headsets, that headset and pay a premium for it, I fucking would because they were so much better and they were better made too.
I have to spend go ahead.
I would say you can't just, you can use a separate headphone and microphone like you're doing, Edie, if you're playing on the PC, but you can't do that for consoles. Like, I can't do that on a couch and talk with friends and game at the same time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. It's too much. Unless I have like a microphone set up on my couch itself.
Right.
But then there's a lot of infrastructure. I need to work really hard to be really lazy in that regard.
It ain't easy being lazy.
I just don't want to drop $150 on like a good
exactly
headset.
That's what they did is they started to charge premium for actually the things that they were quite literally 15 years ago giving away.
Well, I remember you mentioned too, I don't know if it was on podcast or over something else, but you said like a lot of that is because they've started prioritizing the headphone part instead of the mic part because they want to get that big, impressive sound.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. Like, in general, I think the ear pieces of the headphones have gotten way better. Like, even cheap stuff is pretty good sound quality.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're testing out a headset in the store, and if you look at all the reviews of headsets, every single user review is like, sounds amazing. I can totally hear things creeping up on me from behind. And it's like, I don't want to hear my game through my headset. I want to hear my game through my motherfucking speakers, because my motherfucking speakers are going to be better than any headset that I could get. My speakers are Skywalker sound speakers. I paid up for these. I want to fucking use them for their intention. So I want them around my room, and I only want a one ear headset with a good microphone, because I just want to hear what you have to say, because I want to hear this thing in my room.
It's just for voice for you. Like, that's all it is.
That's all it is. I don't listen to the game through the headset at all. There we go. Now we got a dog in the picture.
Not everyone is married to a sound engineer, Edie. Like, we can't all just be like,
I know that's why it's like, that's just the way things are. It's hard. I recognize I'm unique.
I'm using crappy TV speakers, but I still prefer them over headset, just because, you play for a while, the headset sits on you and it squeezes your ears, and it's just like, it's kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I also do have really sensitive ears, so anything that's over my ears for long periods of time, I can't do. Whereas one of those things that just sit on top of your ear, one ear, you can just sit. And then when one ear gets to start hurting because you've been playing for 16 hours straight, you can just take it off and flip it over to the other ear. And then you're good to go for another 16 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that if I put real money into a headset, that either I'm going to get a faulty one or I'm going to break it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just going to hurt on the inside. Whereas if I get a $20 one, I can throw that against the wall and I'll be like, yeah, that's fine.
If it's faulty, then that's covered under warranty. And usually, even if you buy it new, there's like a year warranty, right?
Andrew's hard on headsets.
Hey, motherfucker!
I am. It's because I paid $100 for a headset once, and when I got it, the mic was the worst quality dog crap that I've ever had. Like, this thing, big, had nice bass boost, and just bass boost. It was amazing. I loved it.
You saw me. Couch. You literally saw me go, and you knew what I was gonna say.
The mic was just trash, like terrible, and it hurt me on the inside and wounded me from spending any real money on headsets.
Mm-hmm. All right, so cat chaos taken care of
for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, Buddy's
until he goes and pisses in a corner.
Well, you can't see him. Buddy is now stretched out in front of the fire because he knows better.
Nice.
Yeah. So, shall we talk about games, sirs?
Yeah.
It might be good. I mean, we are game hounds, not headset hounds. By the way, if you ever want to see our website, it is gamehounds.net. Don't forget, we are user funded to get this video shit up in your eyeballs. So please consider paying, donating $1 a month. That's all we ask. It doesn't take many of you to do it, to offset the costs of this so that we can continue to bring it to you.
And you also get our affiliates like Sparkling Water Hounds.
Motherfucker, really? What the fuck is going on? I am muting Nick just because. Cat Hounds.
Yeah, Cat Hounds.
Cat Hounds.
Netflix or various streaming hounds. Those are good ones.
Yep.
Twitch Hounds when we play on Twitch.
Yep.
You get all of that for $1 a month.
All right, so might as well hit your games because it helps with fishing. Bass Boost. Yep.
Yeah, it helps when I'm sitting out there and I need to hear the fish. They whisper sweet nothings into my ear before I catch them. So,
eat me.
Exactly.
I'm delicious. All right. AC Ray says Nick's poor chair has been skinned alive. It does. It has been. I would get you a new chair for Christmas, but I know that in a very short period of time, it would look exactly like that. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I muted you.
Oh, yeah, I actually dropped the microphone as I ran.
Yeah.
But, no, that's why I've kept it around. Like, it still works. It's comfortable. It's soft. I can sit in it. It looks terrible, but anything I get replaced with, it's probably going to get scratched up the same. So it's like, well, I'm just going to keep this one. Like,
keep that one until it's not comfortable, and then you make the change. Yeah,
well,
that's why I never got a. I had to wait until my cat died until I got a new couch because it was like, why?
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to wait until this leather chair turns into a cloth chair. And then boom, I've just got a cloth chair.
You've just described how I feel about headsets. $20 ones.
Oh, have you seen, look, no cloth.
Yep. I should really
I use everything like until it's bones
falling apart. I know you are one of the cheapest people I've ever met.
I bought, says the person who has a PlayStation 5 and a Series X.
Yeah, but you will buy things when you want them, but sometimes you're like, I'm not spending $3 on that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
you're
how
the kind of guy who would go skiing and bring an ice chest with you and make the kids go to the car if they wanted a Coke rather than buy one in the ski lodge.
That gets expensive, and they have a surplus there. Like
it's $10 for a can, Edie. Jesus Christ!
It's not that expensive. Yeah. By the way, that is a real argument that my mother had. The one time my dad took us skiing, he made us walk. And I don't know if you've ever been to a ski resort, Andrew, but up in Tahoe, the ski resorts, like your car could quite literally be a half a mile away and you're in snow boots.
You're talking rich going to a ski resort.
We were thirsty. Yeah. Well, for us too. We were thirsty and my dad made us walk about a quarter of a mile in ski boots to go get a drink of water from the car because he did not want to buy bottled water from the ski resort. And my mother was like, that was the one time when my mother's like, you have to stop this. You need to stop this.
I mean, that is a man of principle.
It doesn't make any sense because you take your drinks from home, you put them in a cooler, then you take the ice that is literally outside everywhere, put it in the cooler, and you just take the cooler with you.
We didn't take the cooler with us. No, we didn't have one of those little coolers. It was a ice chest.
Yeah, that's what we had. You put it on the thing with you and ride up the slope with it, and then you like tie it to your waist. And you ski down
he wasn't gonna carry the ice chest all the way out to no. Anyway,
put a kid in the ice chest, send him down the mountain.
The kid would be having fun.
Probably more fun than when we had. That was the reason why I didn't go skiing again until I was well into my 30s because it was such a horrible experience. And to this day, by the way, if you're ever thinking of having kids and it's like, yeah, I'm just like that. To this day, my brother cannot go by a mini mart without stopping. I have been on road trips with him. And it is almost fucking impossible to stop to get gas because it's 20 minutes of Ian inside buying shit every single time because it's like pathological. He can't not go into a mini mart and buy something because it was so forbidden fruit when he was growing up.
Huh.
Just sitting there. Am I dying of thirst? Yes. Do I want to spend 20 minutes stopping? No.
It's not even like that. It's like he sees a mini mart and something flips in his head and he's like, I have to go inside and I'm going to buy something because he gets like that because you can.
Yeah,
exactly.
Anyways,
it is absolutely pathological. I see it all the time with my brother and I'm like, I know exactly where that came from. So we were going to talk about games.
Yeah.
Yes.
I only have one, so I'll start if that's okay.
I need to turn off my TV because it turned on for some reason.
Nick, he's a hot mess right now. Shit, Nick.
We are very professional.
My
here.
TV just turned on. I don't know why.
Get your shit together, Nick.
It's the technology all around me.
We're fucking professionals here.
The Xbox just caught on fire. Give me a break. It's fucking blowing vape.
No, your
Xbox
everywhere. Is yes. But say it took up a vaping habit. It's not on fire. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's trying to get the PlayStation contact high.
So, yes, we were going to talk about games. Andrew, please go.
The last couple weeks, because I didn't actually mention this last week, but I've been playing Division 2. I've mentioned how I've wanted to go back to that game and see how everything is. I finally did get that chance, and I bought the expansion, and I ran through all that content. It is good. Like, going back to it wasn't the same feeling I had from Division 1. Division 1 had, like, a bunch of, like, endless content. They had the subway system thing where you could go and you do procedurally generated levels. There was more to it, and I don't know if that's just because it was like 2 years later rather than the one that I've taken with Division 2. But the New York DLC is a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. And they allow you, if you just bought the game and you want to jump into New York, to just take a level 30 character, like just make one from scratch and have you have like the high-end armor from the end of the base game. And then you can just throw yourself into the DLC if you want.
Well, it's kind of nice so that you don't actually have to level up completely in the base game in order to enjoy the DLC. It's a good choice.
Yeah, because in the base game, once you beat the base game, this paramilitary group comes in called Black Tusk, and you basically do everything again against this new enemy faction. And to Division's credit,
Black Tusk is hard.
Yeah. But to Division's credit, like every time you go through these levels, especially with like Black Tusk, the enemy layout is different. You're not just doing the same mission that you did before, as far as like the enemies are concerned, which is great. But that's fun, and you go through and you play through all of that. So at that point, you're done with Division 2, and then you can grind out gear to level up your gear score to as high as possible as you want, which is like I think like 400 or something before the DLC. But that's a lot of repeating the same content over and over. Mm-hmm. That's oh yes, nice. You didn't make a mistake. There we go. Yes, okay.
Keep you guys separate. It's like being a daycare worker here.
Oh shit, it's gone. Anyways,
this is why you don't get distracted.
When you're doing that in the first part of Division 2, you go up in world tiers as you get better gear score, up to world tier 5. This is before they had the expansion. Mm-hmm. But that world tier 5 gear you get when you first start the expansion in New York. So like you are pretty much maxed out for what the old game was. And this is for people who may have deleted their characters who wanted to come back to the game, but they had already done all that content. They don't want to do it again. Mm-hmm. Or just people who are like, okay, I want to play New York first because I bought the game, which is, I'm not a big fan of that. If you buy a game for the first time, like don't go run to the DLC, like try to play the game.
Right.
There's something useful in that.
Can you take that 30 character you make for the DLC and bring them back into the base game?
Yeah. Well.
So like in theory, can I start the game, get that level 30 guy, and then go back to the beginning and basically steamroll everyone?
Not right away. So we learned this the hard way. I was playing it with 2 friends, Dat and Suko, and we got there and we're all playing together. And then we played for 2 days, and then the third day we didn't want to continue the progress, but one of us couldn't play. So we were like, all right, let's go back to Washington. You can't get back to Washington until after you beat all of the DLC, like main story content. And we learned that the hard way. So you can't really make a character and go back, but once you finish the campaign, you can then go back.
Okay, but you don't take that character with you. You just start with whatever character you had in the game, the base game.
No. After you beat the content with that new character, you can take that new character back.
Oh, okay,
with you.
okay.
But you just can't start a new character and then go to Washington.
Okay, yeah.
That doesn't work.
You have to beat the DLC. You got to earn the right to take them back.
Yeah, and the way they did progression is you get 10 more levels, and then you get this watch that gives you essentially passive stat increases as you play up the game. So you no longer have a gear score. It stops at 40, but you keep getting levels and stat increases based on this watch, which apparently can go up to like thousands.
Oh.
So it's kind of like a Diablo Paragon system. If you guys ever played Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it was fun. The expansion layout wasn't like a strict story progression. It was like you're hunting down this one person, and he has 4 lieutenants. You have to go to each one of their sections and do a series of missions to basically find out where he is. And so you can just tackle that in any way you want. And it was pretty fun. It was pretty short, but it came with a decent amount of content, and the map was nice to go back to if you've played Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I had a lot of fun with it. I did eventually do the Summit Challenge, which is trying to get up the floor. The floors, like the 100 floors to the top of the tower, and it's a little repetitive, a little tedious, but overall it's still fun. And instead of relying entirely on gear, RNG for gear, you can target a specific kind of loot, like a certain set or a certain brand, and that loot will drop more often. So it's a way to farm gear easily to get what you want.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
How high did you get?
20. Like I said, it's a little tedious. Like you get halfway through like a set of 10 floors, and you're just like, I want to take a break, but I can't. But I just want to. Like if you could stop at 15, I'd be happy. I really would. Like if you can stop every 5 floors, that'd be a nice like change of pace, so you could go do something else. But you're kind of stuck for like an hour and a half going through a series of 10 floors. Overall, good stuff. I enjoyed it and worth getting back into. Edie, I tried to pull you into it, and then you
yes,
just
you
like...
did. I forgot why I couldn't. There was a reason. There's a good reason why I couldn't, and I can't remember what it was. But it was a
very good reason. I'm sure.
It was a good reason. Like,
it was a good reason. No, it was a good reason. I can't. It was otherwise I would have jumped in, but there was something going on that I can't remember exactly what it was. It was I think it was something to do with either Kevin or The Expanse. I think it was family time. We were watching Expanse.
Oh, okay.
And
well,
we're declaring evenings. Some evenings are declared family time. Like we're not gonna be pulled away.
Yeah, you can download it on the PS5, and then you could join us. It's one of those
that
games.
was the other thing. Yes, probably that's what I'll probably do is download it onto the PS5 because I do have have Division 2 for the PS4. In theory, I should be able to re-download Division 2 and then just get the DLC for it.
It should be one of those games, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've pretty much just been reading a book. Like that's been it. One of my favorite series, like launched a new book, and been waiting for like 3 years. And
the Brandon Sanderson book.
Yeah,
I saw it come out. I thought, oh, good for Andrew.
You know what? I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna steal some time for it because it's great. Brandon Sanderson, if you're a fantasy writer, is one of the best fantasy writers out there right now. And the Stormlight Archive is his seminal piece, but he's very prolific and he has a lot of different series. And while not all of the series fall into this, he has a set of books across different worlds that make up an in-universe, kind of like an MCU. Like it's its own thing. They exist on different planets with different magic systems, but they have an overarching like lore. And the Stormlight Archive is kind of digging into those other book series a little bit at a time, like characters, places, names. And that's really cool to see stuff from like a Mistborn book that he made years ago, having that main character having a pretext at the beginning of the chapters, talking to one of the characters in the book. Because in the series, you can planet hop if you know how. And so it's kind of this whole universe, and it's amazing.
It's like finally seeing the crossover you've been waiting for.
Yes, it's awesome. But yes, if you like fantasy, Brandon Sanderson, read all of his stuff. It's good. Don't know. Your favorite genre is lit RPG.
I know, I'm terrible.
So, yeah. That is all. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Corey Wallace wants to know, I'm assuming that Corey Wallace is talking about your book, Nick, that if he buys your book, can you autograph it?
Sure. If you buy anything that I had a story in, I'll autograph it if I see you at some point. Sure.
You have to go out
Perfect.
to Minnesota to have him sign it, though. That's the bad news.
Get
Good news is you get
come
to
here.
sign your first autograph. Bad news is you got to go to Minnesota to do it.
When Nick blows up,
I'm
finally,
gonna do it, and I'm gonna sneeze in the middle of it. And just
don't, because in the Futurescape they will be able to use the DNA from your snot to make another you. You will populate the Earth, right? We will have an Earth
say that
covered
like it's a
in
bad
Nick
thing.
Pinacolas.
He could rule the world.
All people who don't buy good enough computers to stream their own video with headsets that don't work and cats going nuts.
And flag chairs.
Don't buy him a new chair, Edie. Buy him a workable internet.
Hey, my internet's good. It's just...
Oh, is it?
For some reason, like
blurry, Nick?
Yeah, I'm not blurry now. You said I wasn't blurry before. Did I become blurry?
Was working.
By the way, there is Nick's book on Amazon, available now.
I have it. Technically, it's not my book. It's just a series
he has a story in it.
It's a series of short stories, and I have one story in it. It's an anthology.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you for advertising it.
All right. So, any other games, Andrew?
No, that's it for me.
All right, Nick, you're up.
I've kept exploring Game Pass. I bought Demon's Souls when I got the PS5, but I have not put it in because I've started playing so many Game Pass games. I feel obligated to kind of work my way through those first.
Game Pass is good. I'm not gonna lie. The more that I look at it, the more I dive into it, and recognizing that it is only going to get better from here.
And they have a bunch of EA games on there too, including Dragon Age and Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. And I've seen those, and I thought about, should I get this? Nah, I probably shouldn't.
Inquisition is not bad. I actually have been entertaining the thought of going back to it again.
Yeah, I never did finish it.
I did finish it, but I realized after the end of it that I had forgotten to pick up one of the companions. So I missed a whole companion. I don't know how I missed it, but there was one companion I didn't get, which kind of fucks up the story at the end, because then there's this companion there you've never seen before. So yeah, I mean, I could do it again.
Inquisition,
but Origins is still going to always be,
Origins was the best,
close to my heart. Origins by far was the best as far as the story is concerned. Gameplay, I mean, now it's kind of clunky, but the story by far, the characters and everything it was completely different from anything that we had before. So it kind of broke new ground and just brought you in. Now that kind of gameplay where it's self-determination and changing the story and making crucial decisions and all of that is now, everybody does that now. But at the time, that changed, that made that whole story come alive.
It felt like Mass Effect in a lot of ways, and how like the first one when you played it, it was amazing, and like it did have kind of clunky gameplay in the beginning, and then the next two, like I felt the quality of the story dropped a bit. Like overall,
the story dropped huge amount between Origins and 2. 2 was terrible. 2 was an embarrassment. 2 was, dare I say, the Andromeda of the Dragon Age series.
I meant with like Mass Effect, like the story kind of it had something to go off, but I felt like each one kind of was more limiting than the first one.
And Mass Effect very good.
What, I mean, they're good games.
What, Mass Effect? Oh yeah, 2. I liked 2. 2 was all right. Not as good as the first, but it was good.
But the in Mass Effect, the like mechanics, the game mechanics, the combat mechanics got better. And that's kind of how they felt like in Dragon Age, where it was like, this was the story. They were focusing on the story, and then it got popular, so they made the mechanics better at the cost of story.
At the cost of story.
Yep. But better is subjective. I remember when 2 came out, and the whole thing with Origins is that it was one of those traditional RPGs. So you could tell a character, go attack this guy, and he would go there, and he'd just keep attacking them by default unless you queued up moves for him to do. With 2, you had to manually press the A button to attack. And so it was the same system, but it just had this manual attack that they added because they wanted to make it a bit more action-like, to keep you engaged. You had to keep pressing this X button, keep pressing it. And I remember I was like, what subtle the fuck is this? Oh,
yeah, it's a subtle difference between adding features, like spending more time adding more combat features versus improving the combat. They had more features, but it did not make the combat better. And then they sacrificed the story in order to add those features, which made the story worse, which made Dragon Age 2 it's
a disaster. It's kind of like
it's a disaster. It is absolutely
still better than most games out at the time, like that I can remember.
Yes, and I gave it wide berth because wide leeway, because it was 2, and I needed to play it to continue the story because it is. I mean, that was one of the smarter things that they did with Dragon Age. I don't know if you knew this, but I think I've talked about. I know I've talked about on the show. They released a paperback book of a science fantasy book that was essentially the prequel for the game ended up being a prequel for the story. So that characters that it was kind of like the book sits between 1 and 2. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or no, I take it back. The story, I'm trying to remember now. No, I think the book actually is a prequel to 1.
It's been a few years.
Yes, prequel to 1. Yeah. So you had this background of this characters that you had in your head if you read the book first, which I did, and then you played the game, and it's like, oh, I know this guy. He was so like the big villain in Origins. Is kind of a good guy in the first book. You essentially go through his childhood, and it all connects to each other, and you see, oh, I see you have become bitter after what happened in the book, and this is now the person that you are. It's kind of like learning about Palpatine the teenage years. And you're like, how did Palpatine become Palpatine? Oh, this is how he came that way. He started out as a good guy, and then things changed. A little bit like Darth Vader, finding out about Anakin. But anyway.
I just hope that the new Dragon Age isn't going to pull an Andromeda. Like, that's what everyone just hopes, is that the next Dragon Age is good.
Yeah, if the next Dragon Age is bad, I might actually consider just dropping gaming altogether. It would.
Oh,
don't do that. No, because more people are taking up the RPG games than ever before. Mm-hmm. It's just
that's true.
BioWare. Mm-hmm. BioWare's soul has died.
And it's not the same. It's not the same studio that it was back when.
Right. I think that, and this is kind of going like in a big picture way, I think that the failure of Andromeda will make the next Dragon Age better. That they cannot afford another Andromeda. They have to make this good because their reputation is holding by a very small thread with a lot of us. I say us because I mean me.
If you want RPGs the quality of like Origins, Divinity Original Sin 2, like is quality. They're both made by Larian Studio. You don't like it?
I didn't like that.
Story-wise, it's fantastic. And then Baldur's Gate 3, which is made by the same studio.
Says the man who like Brandon Sanderson.
I've heard good things about that one.
Rude. Says the woman who likes lit RPG.
Yeah. There's not bad. Have you read a lit RPG? No. See, I think you would really, really like it. I think that there are good authors. There's some good authors. There are some great authors. There are some bad authors that do this stuff.
It's like literally every genre that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't diss it until you try it.
I got facts though.
But speaking of Game Pass, the games I have played on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, games.
I have delved deep into Gears of War. So I know in the past couple weeks I've talked about Gears Tactics, and I've played more and more of that. And the more I play of that, the more I think like that is a genuinely great tactics game. I'm just really impressed by it. So I also started to go to the new classics, which is not Gears 1, 2, or 3, but Gears 4 and 5. So I played through all of Gears 4 co-op with a friend, the campaign, and started on Gears 5 just to see what this new trilogy is like. And I really like it. I think Gears 4 is a good introduction to this new world, and like this new world order after the story of Gears 3 ended. You know, humanity wins, Locust gets killed. Like, it's a pretty solid like period capstone on the end of that series. And so seeing how they find a way to continue it, Gears 4 in a lot of ways is like the first Gears of War, where it's a relatively small scale story. It's basically like you're introduced to these characters, they're outsiders, and they actually fight against the Cog, who were the good soldiers in the last trilogy. So you meet these outsiders, they're fighting against the Cog, then these weird monsters appear and they kidnap their town. And so then these people go on a quest to basically rescue their townsfolk and one of their moms. And that's kind of the whole story. And so it feels like it prioritizes introducing these characters and a little bit of the world, but it feels very small scale in scope. It's good, like it's enjoyable. I like the characters. I like the new directions that they're going in. But last night I started Gears 5 and started playing through that co-op. And the first act of that, there's 5 acts in all the Gears games. The first act, right away, everything about it feels hands down better than the entirety of the Gears 4 campaign. Just the characters are better written, they're more fleshed out, there's a stronger like interpersonal dynamics going on, there's way more world building, the spectacle of what you're doing is huge. I remember the way Gears 2 started. You know, Gears of War 1 was also a relatively small scale game, but then Gears 2 started with humanity on the attack. And it started with this really great action set piece of a whole bunch of, you know, humans and cog soldiers in these giant drills driving to this like drop zone where they would then drill down into the earth to attack the locusts in their territory. And so you're on these giant machines and, you know, shooting locusts out of the sky. And when you look around, you can see all the soldiers on the ground, all the tanks, all the giant drills. And there's just this huge spectacle of war to the whole thing. 5 captures that feeling again. Like the introduction of 5 is this one settlement is under attack and you need to evacuate it. And so you go there to evacuate them, and like right away in the first act, I'm fighting every single boss that I encountered throughout Gears 4 makes an appearance in the first act of Gears 5. It really feels like cool. It begins by pulling out all the stops and just literally throwing everything at you. And it works from a spectacle perspective, but then also just the characterization and the writing and the way that it plays up those dynamics, that is so much better too. And it actually made sense. I noticed during the opening credits, because Gears 5 has opening credits, which kind of lends it this nice cinematic flair. It was written by a guy named Tom Bissell. And that name sounds familiar. That is actually the guy who wrote Thomas Was Alone. Thomas Was Alone and the Subsurface games. I don't
Oh.
know if he worked on 4, but I know that he worked on 5, and I think that it shows. Because the games that he has worked on before, Thomas Was Alone and Subsurface games, are very well written, and that absolutely shows in this Gears 5. Like it's extremely well written. It reflects his skill, and I'm really excited to keep going with it because it feels like a blockbuster in a way that a lot of games haven't. Like I said, the spectacle of it, it almost feels like, when an Avengers movie came out and you're watching it and there's that, it's a sequel, but it's also its own thing. And so when you see these characters that you've spent time with and they come on screen, there's like that moment of recognition that you get, a little cheer. I felt that playing this intro of Gears 5 was like, oh, these are the characters I know, but all of a sudden what they're doing feels so much more important. All of a sudden their world, so much more is at stake. And it's really fantastic. So yeah, Gears 4 was a good game. Gears 5 from the beginning, I think, is fucking great.
I'm wondering if that's because I know Gear 4 kind of came out and it was kind of like, oh, they're making a new Gears game because everyone thought it was going to be over after 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if they took a chance on Gears 4. It did well, and they're like, all right, let's put resources behind this. Let's put money behind this and let them.
I'm almost sure that's exactly what happened.
I think so. Because I remember when Gears 4 came out, the general reception of it was, hey, this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's awesome. It's good to know.
Yeah. So fucking Gears 5 rocks.
Yep.
The other Game Pass game I've been playing is a smaller, much smaller game called Descenders. And this is a very weird, like, it's a roguelike mountain biking game where the premise is you're kind of given these 5 environments. And each environment has a map that consists of a series of nodes. Each node is a procedurally generated area. Like there's a whole landscape and a course through that landscape, and it's all procedurally generated. There are some jumps, there are trees, there are obstacles, all that stuff. You have to get from the top to the goal, and then you complete that node, and you can move on to the other nodes on the map, but you can only move one space at a time. And so you do that.
It's like a skill tree.
Yeah, you kind of complete the nodes as if it was a skill tree up to the boss jump. And the boss jump is this really huge jump. Maybe you're jumping over a train. Maybe you're jumping over a Firewatch tower. Maybe you're jumping over a helicopter. But it's a big jump, and you have to complete that to complete that environment and move on to the next environment. The catch is that you have health. You start with 3 points of health. Every time you complete a bonus objective in one of these procedurally generated maps, which is like do 2 360 spins, get through the whole level without breaking, get through the whole level while holding down the acceleration. You complete an objective, you get a pip of health. So you go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. If you crash, you lose a pip of health. If you crash hard, you lose 2 pips of health. And if you crash completely and you die, then you lose all your progress and you have to start over from the first environment again.
Oh, so you lose all the progress along all the nodes?
Yes, because it's a roguelike. Okay. What is nice, though, is if you defeat the boss jump 3 times in an environment, then you can just start from that environment without going through everything. So you don't always have to repeat everything every single time. It's just that where I am now on like the 4th out of 5 environments, the levels are pretty chaotic enough that I'm crashing a lot. And so like any roguelike, the idea is I'm going to play through these early levels and do really well to earn a bunch of health and equipment that gives me a better chance of surviving the later levels. Because just starting at the later levels, it's like, oh shit, I've only got 2 pips of health, but if I crash hard twice, I'm dead. So it is a very good, like, sit down, kind of turn your brain off, a good game to play while chatting with someone else, right? It's that type of game. it doesn't really require a whole lot of thought and a whole lot of, I don't want to say skill, but like it doesn't require a whole lot of investment. It's just kind of something you can play for fun. And so in that regard, it's really good. I don't know if I would have spent a lot of money on it, but as a Game Pass game, it's great. But in the narrow subgenre of Game Pass downhill biking games, I think I prefer Lonely Mountain Downhill that I've talked about before over Descenders. And this guy making this jump just keeps fucking missing. This is the last time, his last stand. And this is what a lot of the boss jumps are like: is shit I missed, shit I missed, shit I missed, shit I missed, and now I've got to restart. Just like fuck.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
And I think in the chat, AC Wraith says like, "Oh my god, Nick's enjoying a roguelike." And I think the reason why I'm enjoying it is because when you die and everything restarts, getting spawned and like turned and fell over.
Yeah.
When you start over, getting back to wherever you were, even if you're like 4 or 5 environments in, is pretty quick. Like I can get through the first environment in 5 minutes. Like it's really not that difficult. If you want to like spend a lot of time in these environments, playing each node, completing all the optional objectives, getting more and more health, then you can do that. Like you can put all that time into it. But if you just make a beeline to the boss jump and you beat the boss jump, you make a beeline to the next boss jump, like you can get through these levels very, very quickly. And so that really eases the frustration and anger when I fail and have to start over, because it's like, whatever. Like 15 minutes later, I'm back to where I was. So, and that's one of the reasons why I say it's a very good casual conversation game, because even when you fuck up and lose progress, it's not that bad. So it's not like it's always asking a lot of your attention.
Anything else?
If you're playing, do you like platformers, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a game I want you to play in Game Pass. I can't, but I heard it's great, and I want your opinion on it. Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Ori and the Will of the
Wisps. I know Ori. I played Ori and the Blind Forest a while ago. I didn't beat it, but I played some of it. I'll download Will of the Wisps. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay. I hear it's like fantastic. And I wanted your opinion on it.
I've heard the same thing. Anything else, Nick?
No.
Yeah. The only thing to talk about is Valhalla. Still playing it. So, it's still a good game. Is it the best Assassin's Creed game ever? No, I don't think so. There's a lot to like about it, but it is starting to hit that slow tedium that I hate about the bad Assassin's Creed games. There is a lot of running around and it's not entirely enjoyable. It's not like, oh, I just go and explore. Yeah, I'm past the go and explore part. Something that I hit where that moment that it went from being like, I'm really enjoying this to starting to not enjoy this. It happened in, you have to go to Asgard, which is the land of the gods, the castles, of the Norse gods, Odin and Freya and Loki and Thor, and where Valhalla is. When you hit that point in the game, there is a lot of fucking hard running around where in order to get from point A to point B, you have to climb over a lot of shit. And so on one side of the map, they're like, okay, you need to be here and progress the story by going to here. All right, cool. Now you need to go all the way on the other side, which means it's a lot of running around. Okay, all right, cool. We'll do that. And then you have to go back to that original place. So you do a lot of back and forth in this map that Asgard doesn't have nearly the amount of like cool things going on. It's mostly just looking for collectibles while you're running around, which is interesting. But when you're being forced to go from point A to point B, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it essentially prolongs the story unnecessarily. And eventually it starts to get really boring just climbing up over hills. And then you get to the other top of the hills, you talk to this guy for 3 minutes, and then you got to go back down the hills, then you got to run across the map, then you go back up the hill. It has become tedious in Asgard. Fortunately, I got through the first section of Asgard. There's a boss fight at the end of that first time that you're in Asgard that is so fucking hard. Maybe I just could not figure out. I mean, I know what I had to do, but I was playing it on normal, and I finally had to put it down to puss mode after bashing my head up against the wall, literally, for what, 40, half an hour, 45 minutes?
You were playing that while I was playing Gears 5, and I could hear you like every now and then. You're just like, fuck, right again. It's like, fuck, I can't, what am I supposed to do? I hit him from the air? Like, what did... And then when you try to lower the difficulty, the game was like, oh, sorry, you have to reload an earlier save. You can't change the difficulty in the area that you're at.
Right. So I had to go back a couple of saves, change this difficulty, I put it down to full puss mode. And then puss mode was so easy. It's like, I just like looked at the guy funny and he fell over. So I think I had a trouble with that one, but at least it got me out of Asgard and going back into England, where it's way more interesting stuff going on. But it was a long, long period of time in Asgard, and it was a lot of fucking running around, and felt, dare I say, a bit padded because of the running around that they make you do. The plus side is you get to ride a reindeer when you're in Asgard. The reindeer is pretty badass. I do love it, but you can't run the reindeer all the time because you're constantly having to climb up to the top of mountain A to talk to somebody, and then you got to run across the map and climb up mountain B.
Wait, are you telling me the reindeer can't fly?
Reindeer cannot fly. No, Norse reindeer don't fly.
I saw a meme lately that was like, Assassin's Creed 1 or 2, we removed the crossbow because it was not historically accurate. And then it's like Assassin's Creed Valhalla riding a wolf, like a giant wolf. Like,
yeah.
Historical accuracy is no longer an important feature.
You don't know that they didn't ride wolves.
I can't prove a negative, so You're not wrong.
So, yeah. I'm still enjoying it. I'm going to continue to play it, but I think that the shine has started to come off a little bit as I've gotten further into it and realized that when they say that the 200 hours is pretty well, at least for right now, it feels a bit padded. I've been playing it straightforward, and I've also kind of hit a wall where I've already like wiped out all of the monasteries in my skill level, because you have a skill level, a power, a character power level, and then there's monasteries. That's where you get the materials to be able to build up your settlement. And when you go on the map, you can see what skill level those monasteries are. And you if you're a level 70, you really shouldn't attack a level 160. Well, I've cleared out all of the monasteries that are doable right now. So now it's like, well, I can't build more stuff. There's no more monasteries to get. I'm level 70, but I've been like grinding in the story, and now I'm at level 75. It's like, when am I going to get up to level 160 so I can go to the next monastery? Or it almost feels like I'm not doing the story and now I'm being penalized for it. But I know that I have been doing the story. So
it's not like you did all the side stuff first and then did all the story. You were going back and forth.
Absolutely. I've done everything, all the side quests that they call it world events for the side quests, all the side quests I've been doing. I've been doing daily quests. I've been doing a lot of stuff, but for some reason, it's like, am I not progressing for some reason? It
Maybe
just does not
slow,
seem I'm progressing fast.
Yeah.
Again, it feels like this game is a wee bit padded. They want you to grind on daily missions over and over and over again for a lot of days before you get to a level where you can actually move into the next area. And that's not what I'd call truly a 200-hour game. That would be a 70-hour game that has got throttles on it, like breaks along the way, where they put breaks in it so that requires a lot of grinding in order to get there. Little MMO in that way. We need you to go collect 10 pigs a lot of times. Need to kill 10,000 pigs in order to level up your character.
Make
Write
them
out some boars.
Was it pigs in that they had to kill in
boars.
South Park?
Wild boars.
Wild boars. Oh,
boars
for World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay. I remember
when South Park they were playing World of Warcraft. I thought it was pigs.
It was wild boars.
Okay.
I remember in the first Red Dead there was an achievement for killing all of the buffalo.
Of course there was.
So yeah, I'm not ready to move on, but I'm not as in love with this game as I was last week.
It's like if the story ever starts to slag, then you'll bail.
Yeah, it's already starting to slag. I can't really figure out what they like. Maybe I'm stupid, but I'm not seeing it.
It's one of those moments in a game, in any open world game, where you're at a quest and the person's like, "All right, go kill Jim," and you're like, "Wait a minute, fuck, who's Jim?
Who's Jim?
Right. Why do we not like Jim? What did he do?"
The story is not quite coming together in okay, now I know what I need to do in this game, other than kill the Order. It's like the main driving motivation isn't really been articulated yet, and I'm a lot of hours in. So,
did you ever get the title card?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. That's last week as soon as I got off the show. Then I went on there. It's like, the title card. Yeah, I think I sent you a video, or I might have just sent you a text saying, "Got the title card finally."
Yeah, I saw that text.
All right. So, shall we hit the news?
Yeah.
All right. Stand by. Let's hit. Wait. Oh, crap. I've got things all over my screen now. Let's hit the news. Come on. There we go. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie, Nick DiNicola, and Andrew Smith. And our first item is...
Figured we could talk about the PlayStation and Xbox scalping that you sent us.
I don't know. I mean, that's really deep. And I did not. Did I save the link? Did I actually send you a copy of the link? Because I didn't actually save it. Yeah, it's in my messages. It should be. No.
Well, it is interesting. We don't have a ton of news to talk about, so.
Yeah. All right. Can you send me the link?
It's in the chat. Yeah.
In the chat.
Yeah, I can't send it. Yeah, it's on my phone.
You talk about it. You talk about it, Andrew. There was an article in Business Insider. As I recall, it was Business Insider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe so.
Kind of delving into the console scalpers and the world of the console scalpers. And I was, it's like, all right, I'm going to read it and just hate it. And then the first couple of paragraphs were about console scalping and how there was one group of scalpers that said they had 2,600 PlayStation 5s, which is just alarming and mind-boggling. But the story actually goes deeper into what these console scalpers are, and it is way the fuck more organized than I ever expected. They are there are groups of scalpers through Discord that you actually pay a subscription to become a member of this group. And they get inside information on where all this stuff is, or where the consoles are going to be. And it's not just consoles. It's not just graphics cards. Thank you. There we go. There's the article. It's almost like investment groups that you pay a fee to be part of this investment group. And then you all work together in order to, and use this, share software and whatever, and information to acquire anything that has run out of supply.
Yeah.
Hot tubs, tennis shoes.
I know it started as a shoe thing, because I know shoes have a lot of sneakers have a lot of limited time things. But in the article, they talked to one of these people, and they specifically mentioned that early in the pandemic, they noticed that hot tub sales were trailing downward and getting out of stock. So they made a point of like telling all their members, buy these hot tubs,
right,
so that you can resell
set up
them.
alerts.
And so it's like this group is basically for full-time scalpers. Like, these aren't people just joining it to get a PlayStation 5. This is literally their full-time job, is buying all sorts of things and scalping all sorts of things.
Yeah, this isn't like an Edie Sellers who buys an extra Xbox and like sells it on eBay. This is like people who buy hundreds of Xboxes and then mark it up twice as. Yeah.
Right. And but I know, and I expected like scalpers to be like these kind of grubby assholes all working individually and competing against each other, but they're not. They're cartels. They're cartels, and you can literally pay a fee to be a member of this cartel and turn into a full-time scalper. And it's not illegal. That's the thing. Not illegal for anything except tickets, concert tickets, because concert tickets have a contract with them. But for individual items, this is not an illegal thing. So what they're doing is all perfectly legal, but it's completely untaxed. And I'm amazed that no government body has gone after these guys for evading taxes.
Well, think how long it took for like digital games to get taxed. Like, it wasn't until like this year that we started getting our digital games taxed in Iowa, for instance. Like, before that, they were never taxed. So this kind of stuff, I think, takes a long time, especially when it's digital, to get going, to like change the laws. And I think all this stuff will be eventually taxed. Like, that's pretty obvious. And if they're selling that stuff, you still have to like put that on any real form that, hey, I made this much money. So it should be taxed. It's crazy though. Like, the amount of like organization here is a little staggering. Just like the fact that you have, like, they said their Discord group had thousands of people, hundreds of people who were just ready.
Right.
And I don't know what you do to fight this, because
you can't fight it. That's the thing. And the only people that could fight it would be the government in order to make it illegal. But it's not illegal. It's 100% legal and completely untaxed. And I'm really surprised no one has said, hey, if somebody is a professional scalper, they should be at least being charged sales tax. But the scalpers buy the sales tax, and then they pay the sales tax. Then they make that sales tax back up by selling it for a profit. So they're not actually paying the sales tax. I mean, they do. Somebody pays the sales tax on the initial purchase, but not on the resale purchase. And that's, when you're talking about a one-off thing, like I sell you my coffee cup, Nick, I'm going to sell you my coffee cup. It's $1. I don't need to charge you sales tax for that because I'm not a professional retailer.
Seller.
I'm not selling coffee cups in bulk. It's not my thing. I'm selling you just this one cup. if I actually go into the business of selling coffee cups to people, I have to, at a certain point, when you make a certain amount of money, charge sales tax because I am retail selling this coffee cup.
And I mean, you can make an
they're
argument.
They're not, and they're doing it to the tune of, I mean, let's do the math on that. Where's my calculator? 3,500 PlayStation 5s selling for in the realm of $1,200 a piece. That is $4.2 million that they're making times 0.95 sales tax. Somebody needs to be charged $399,000 in sales tax.
Well, the issue with that is like that's taking like a ton of people who bought these ton of scalpers in different locations and applying one universal sales tax. Like this is across countries.
When you go on to eBay, you can see how many of them that individual sellers has sold. It says sold 18, sold 22, sold 5. If you sell multiples of things on the same account at eBay, it literally lists it on the eBay listing it says how many you have sold at this price. So it's not like it's a big secret of how many times. If you see somebody that's sold 20 of these, then you know that this is a retailer. When you're selling 20 PlayStations, and that's just the PlayStation, and it's just one person, you're no longer an individual, reseller, like individual, I'm selling something at a flea market. You're not a flea market anymore. You're a retail sale.
And see, like my issue isn't necessarily that. I don't really care about that. I think what ruins it.
I don't either, but I think that that's where the government would be interested into it. And I'm really surprised that they're not.
I think it's going to have to come down to companies. It's going to have to come down to software. Because the thing that ruins this is bots. Bots ruin everything. And the fact that it isn't just like one person behind a computer trying to hit like buy on a bunch of different things. It's bots who are trying to buy hundreds of this. And not only that, in the article they discussed the software that was used for these bots, and they're skipping queue times, skipping people over in line who are ready to buy this stuff. And it's just completely unfair to anyone who's trying to buy one on their own.
Right.
And I don't know.
And the thing is, it's A, not just consoles, and B, it's worse now that the pandemic has happened because there are so much panic buying. Again, we're running out of toilet paper.
Yeah. And
which I cannot believe. I cannot believe people are buying toilet paper again like they did at the beginning of the pandemic. But they are.
You would think they stocked up enough then.
You would like when it comes to this stuff, like the responsibility needs to be on the sellers, the people who are selling us, like Best Buy, Walmart, all of them. Like they have to do something on the software side to prevent this, and that's hard. That's going to be constantly changing. You're going to have people like fighting that, making new programs constantly.
Yeah.
But if we blame the scalpers for this, it'll because their products being sold, they don't care. They made their money off their sales. If we blame the scalpers, there are no reason for them to change or to try to prevent this. Like,
right.
Yeah.
The scalpers are just making money. They're grifters. They're doing what they do. We need to be focusing on the people who are selling this to begin with and making sure that they're protecting a chance for everyone to get one of their own.
Right.
And I think what makes it particularly difficult for the consoles is because these consoles have been sold almost exclusively online. And I think PlayStation has said, like, I don't know who's restocking where, but I know like Best Buy said, oh, for Black Friday, we'll have more PlayStation 5s only online. Like the one way to defeat a scalper is to have a physical thing in
physical
store.
Copy. Right.
Unfortunately, then you get stampede to people, but that is one alternative. But you can't do that during this pandemic. And so everything is being sold exclusively online, which is where they thrive. And so like this is their time to shine. And it's just unfortunate that new consoles had to come out at this sort of perfect moment for scalpers.
Right.
It's a perfect storm for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was an article from GameStop saying that they will have PS5s on Black Friday, but they are only guaranteed limited stock of 2.
I saw that 2 per
PlayStation
store.
5s. Like,
For
that is
all
nothing.
of GameStop?
Like, each store
like
has
per
only...
store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, per store has 2 for Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They are guaranteeing that amount only, which is nothing.
Yeah.
That's next to nothing, especially with GameStop.
Well, we might as well talk about that because there are a couple of different companies. Sony has said that they are sold out, the actual company itself, but there has been a couple of different retailers that say that PlayStation 5s and Xbox One X will be available on Black Friday. Sorry, Series X will be available on. I'm trying to type at the same time. Available on Black Friday.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing news stories about restocking. Like one comes out every couple days of, we're gonna have new stock here at this time.
Right.
And
right.
it's hard to keep
track.
So
here's what I know so far is that if you are looking for a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, still you're not completely out of luck before the end of time. Right now Walmart is going to kick off its deals for days on November 21st at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Sorry, November 25th.
Sounds like that's a little late.
4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. They're going to restock the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X 2 hours later. So Xbox and PlayStation 5 at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern on November 25th on Black Friday at Walmart. They're only available on Walmart.com, so don't go into your store. Also, GameStop says that it's released its Black Friday ad, and among a handful of major retailers it is one of the major retailers to confirm that they are going to have a limited stock of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, as you said. They're going to be available. Actually, I take that back. November 25th is Wednesday. Black Friday at GameStop. They're going to be available with a limited stock, but with no specific time. I take that back. 7 a.m. is when their online store starts, but we don't know when the PlayStation actually or the Xbox is actually going to go live. But they open at 7 a.m.
Got to start waiting at 7 a.m.
They may go live right at 7 a.m. They may go upload it at 9 a.m. Whatever. So all those things are happening. I will say this, going about the scalper thing. Yes, the scalpers are out there. Yes, they are making it difficult. I had no extra help other than just setting an alarm and going on and reading everything and following, I'm not gonna lie, Wario64 on Twitter. To tell me when things go live, because they're actually really, really good. Really good when things go live. They were absolutely a help to me. Do that. It can be done. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I did get 2 Xbox Series X's and I did get 1 PlayStation, but I had to buy the bundle, which was $6.99 out the door as opposed to $5.24 out the door. $4.99 is retail, $5.24 when you add in tax.
Yeah. Okay.
So and it's $6.39 was the bundle, but it's $6.99 out the door when you add in the tax. It can be done. You just have to be right there and with multiple screens open and have everything loaded and signed in and ready to go and pray. A lot of prayers.
You got to sit there and refresh and add to cart and then keep refreshing.
And I want to point out that this isn't normal. This shouldn't be normal. This sucks. But it is kind of what you have to do if you want to get one of these at a decent price.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And also, I think it's also worth saying, if you don't get one, it's okay because there's honestly not a lot out there that's for these new consoles.
Yeah.
There's no exclusive for Xbox. And unless you really want to play Demon's Souls or Miles Morales, there's no reason to get a PlayStation. And if you really want to play Miles Morales, there's a Spider-Man game for PS4 already there for you. So
right.
if you don't get one,
I'm gonna disagree with you.
It's perfectly fine to wait. Like,
I'm gonna disagree with you.
You're not
Nick.
really missing out on a
This is the only time when you know when retailers are going to have them. After this, and I learned this with the Switch, if you don't have actual notifications and actual days and times when you know things are happening, it is too easy to not find them. And these PlayStations and Xbox One X's are going to be sold out for a really long time. Then it is just a case of you have to get lucky and spam everything all the time. This is the most efficient way to find a PlayStation before they become ubiquitous. Like, I'm thinking it's going to be at least 6 months to a year before there is enough PlayStations out there that they're just on the shelves.
And I think there will be at least 6 months before we start seeing console exclusive games for the next generation.
Maybe.
So, again, maybe. You're not missing out on anything. Like, the most I've been using the Xbox for is fucking Game Pass, right? I've been playing Xbox One games, so it's fine if you don't get it.
Like, it's basically a hardware upgrade right now.
It's really easy for us to say, as someone who was shut out of the PlayStation 5 and was really upset about it. It is very, very easy to say it's fine if you don't have one when you have one.
I have not. I played Astro's Playroom on the PS5. I have not played anything else on it because I've been enjoying the Game Pass games so much. I could have done that with an X. Like, yes, it's easy to say, oh, you don't need one when you have one, but I feel like it's worth emphasizing, like, there's not a whole lot of exclusive things that you are missing out on if you don't get one.
Right.
The thing that people, I think, are most panicking about is just the fact that it's the holiday season. They want to get that for that Christmas gift.
It's the hot new gadget, and Christmas is coming up. I mean, yeah, that's all true. It's and that's what makes it difficult.
As a gamer, if you're willing to wait, if you're fine, like, not stressing about having the newest thing right now, don't worry about it. Just like with the PS4, it took months before they had anything worth it. Like, the thing that I'm going to think is going to be worth it for the first time is Cyberpunk. Like, I don't want to play that on the PS4. I want to play that on the PS5 or a high-end computer. Because I know that game can use that power. It can look amazing. Until then, though, Valhalla, like, good game, but I don't know if I want a PS5 to play that. I could play that on the PS4 and be happy.
And even then, after Cyberpunk comes out, there's not a whole lot of other big AAA game releases for the next several months.
Yeah, but there's always that, fear of
fear of missing out. FOMO is strong, and that's why I'm trying to emphasize, like, the fear that you're missing out on something, you're not missing out on much.
Yeah. Also, if you have the extra money to spend, there are absolutely consoles of both flavors on eBay. They're not going to be $499. I'll tell you that right now. You're going to be spending upwards of $850 to $900. And you will, but there are people out there that are selling them with a starting at cost. They're not scalping. You can find them. You can also very easily identify the scalpers because they have a buy it now of $1,200. You don't have to spend $1,200 if you want to buy it on eBay. It is going to be more expensive because you are going to be bidding and competing with others, but they are out there. I was actually very surprised going onto eBay how many, looking at the sales of consoles, how many of them were actually being sold for all about the same price in an auction, which means that wasn't a buy it now. They were actually somebody like me who put it up for what it cost me, and just whoever got it, got it. And
people ran with it.
Right. It's in the realm of $850 to $900. So that's what it's going to cost if the fear of FOMO outweighs the fear of the extra cost, of paying double for it. It's there.
In the interest of wiping some of the shine away from the gadgets.
Yes.
As we've talked, Black Friday is coming up. And so these consoles have started their annual Black Friday sales. Last night, me and a friend and Edie, we spent a while. Well, we were looking through the storefront, trying to figure out, like, how is this shit actually organized? So with the Xbox, I think I've complained on this podcast, but I'll do it again. If you go, it has a deal section. That's nice. Like if you go to games, or just like on the homepage of the storefront, if you just like flick to the right, you can get to like a game deals and you can see things that are on sale. Like it's very easy to get to. But then once you're on that list, it feels like the games are listed in a bizarre, nonsensical order. You've got like Genshin Impact things up there with XCOM, with an Assassin's Creed, like all at the top of the list. It's not in alphabetical order. You can't sort it by price. And so trying to navigate this list of games on sales is a bizarre effort of just like, well, I'm going to scroll through a completely randomized list. It is what is weird, and this is a choice that Microsoft made. I'll say that. If you scroll down far enough, the games start to order themselves alphabetically. So like the first maybe 20 rows in that list are just, I don't know, bestsellers, popular. Maybe they paid to get a higher placement, but it's just a smorgasbord of like random things. And then once you get to A Way Out by EA, that is the first in the actual alphabetical list. So it's just a very confusing layout. But even that is better than motherfucking Sony and their god-awful, shit-tastic storefront, which doesn't even have a deals section. So, hey, we've got a Black Friday sale going on. That's cool, right? Ghost of Tsushima is on sale. Trying to find that in the PlayStation storefront is damn near impossible. What I finally realized is that if you go to the PlayStation storefront and you go to collections, the collections tab seems to be their catch-all for some sort of sales section, but it never specifies that. And you have to click through like multiple submenus to get to multiple different sections. They're like, oh, here are PlayStation exclusive games. Here are some indie games. Here are some superhero games. Here's some other types of games. And you might be able to find a game on sale there. But even then, like looking for Watch Dogs Legion, it wasn't listed in all of these other different paths. And so the PS4 used to have a really nice intuitive storefront that if you wanted to find something on sale, there was just a deal section. You went there. You could organize that deal section by like multiple filters. If there were multiple sales going on, you could say like, show me the Japanese games on sale. Show me the Black Friday games on sale. Show me the superhero games on sale. And you could look at specifically those sales or look at everything. And you could order it alphabetically. You could order it by price. More importantly, you could filter out all of the DLCs so that instead of having a list cluttered up with season passes and currency packs, you could just see the games. You can't do that with the PS5. Both of these storefronts are worse than they were before. The PS5 is like such a sad and embarrassing step backwards from what was a genuinely great working storefront with PS4. And so, yeah, like it feels like Sony is making it purposely difficult to buy things for the PS5.
Well, they're making it purposely difficult for you to find the things you want for the PS5. They make it very easy for the things that they want you to find. And
yeah, like
that has always been a
if you're
problem with
looking for
storefronts.
Miles Morales, like there's things splashed right on the front.
Oh
so
yeah, you
buy
can
that.
like when Halo comes out. Oh, you can bet your bottom dollar you're
Mhm.
not going to have any problem finding Halo. But if you want to find, just browse the store for something that is not like the new hotness or the thing they want you to know about, it becomes a little difficult. I had the same problem with the 360 store was good for that. The PlayStation 5 store was a little more challenging than that.
The PS4
I really
store.
didn't buy. Yeah, the PS4 store I did not like. I found the 360 store. In fact, the PS4 store just infuriated me. But I kind of eventually got used to it. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to the PlayStation 5 store, because if it's even worse than the PS4 store, that's I
It absolutely needs a patch or like just a better organization of
well, it needs to be user
things.
focused, not retailer focused, not Sony focused. The Sony has forgotten who the store is for. It is not for them to sell games. It is for us to find the games that they are selling. And they've forgotten that.
And it's unfortunate because for someone like me, I spent a lot of time just browsing a list of games that are on sale, then being like, oh, that's on sale. That actually looks like a neat game. And I'll buy it for, half off, or I'll buy it $5, $10. And like, I do that a lot. And it feels like they are actively hampering the ability for smaller games to get face time, like to get out there in front of people. Like even if a game is on like 90% discount, unless it fits into like one of these specific categories, it won't be surfaced anywhere. You have to actively search for it. And yeah, that's really disappointing. Also, just sort of a random complaint, with any console, what do you expect to happen when you push and hold the logo button on the controller?
To bring up the fast menu to go into the console, home. Essentially, it's a shortcut menu.
Yeah.
I expect it to bring up like a menu that's basically, hey, shut down.
Yeah, right. Shut down being part of it. Shut down, quick game, messages, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Do you know what happens when you hold down the logo button on the PS5?
What?
Nothing.
Huh.
Nothing. It's not an input.
That's weird. I've always
what?
It seems like it just should be at this point.
Yeah, you would expect that.
An input. That button on both consoles has been an input for literally generations.
If you press the button on PS5, it brings up like a little tiny menu that has all of your shortcuts.
Your mini menu, yeah.
Yeah. But if you want to like shut down the console, you have to tap the button, scroll all the way to the right, and then do the options. So there is a lot of, and the more that I get into the PS5 menu, the more user unfriendly it reveals itself to be. So if you don't get a PS5 now, don't worry, because by the time you get one in 6 months, maybe they'll have patched the UI to make it actually usable, and you'll have a good experience with it out of the box.
Speaking of which, I'm going to segue from that real quick, because AC Wraith brought up something in the chat that is kind of related to that, about not worrying about getting it right away. Apparently, if you go into rest mode, coming out of it can cause problems with your PlayStation 5.
I've heard that's an error that some people have encountered. I don't know. I haven't actually put the PS5 into rest mode. I've only turned it off. So maybe I just won't.
So apparently it can cause problems like crashing your games like repeatedly. Like if you crash and you come back, it can crash again. And straight up bricking, apparently. Losing progress, stuff like that. Any of the type of things that happens when your game gets kind of screwy. But a lot of that apparently has to do with having external hard drives plugged into your PlayStation 5. Because they will still take them but like they were saying, they can't guarantee that it's going to be good. Like they can't guarantee that there's going to be problems. There won't be problems.
It's like, hey, it works, but it might break the console. But we can see the hard drive will just then explode, but we'll see it for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do that at your own risk. They should fix this at some point. There's the whole point of, messing with the hard drive space anyway. So, yeah. Just wanted to bring that up because that's another reason not to get it right now.
Yeah, it seems like more with the PS5 than the Xbox. There's a lot of like errors and a lot of just user unfriendliness with the UI, and a lot of things that people are running into. They're like, this feels weird and unfriendly, and not like Red Ring level disaster, but it feels like any sort of video game coming in hot that you're like, I kind of want to wait for a patch before I play it. Kind of like with Avengers. Avengers, people are like, oh man, the campaign is good, but boy, this loot system is bad. You should wait until they fix all the bugs before you buy it. And that's kind of what I see a lot of with the PS5. Is like, wow, this is a technical marvel, and it looks really cool, but damn, this UI is pretty bad. Like, maybe you should wait until it becomes a bit more friendly.
Honestly, if they just need to take hints from Steam. I think Steam's UI and the way that you can find deals and as a storefront is good. Just kind of copy that.
Mm. It is interesting, I will say, the fact that the PS5 storefront, it doesn't launch a separate app. Like the storefront is not a different app within the console. When you navigate to the store, it's just an integrated part of the UI. And that's neat. It makes it very easy to access the store. It's just that it's very poorly organized. And a lot of the UI aspects are kind of poorly organized. So.
All right. So next item. Shall we talk about Black Friday deals since this is the last show before we're at Black Friday?
Yeah.
Sure.
What can people get?
Well, one thing that you cannot get from Kohl's, bad news, guys. If you are planning to buy if you thought that you have bought a PlayStation 5 console through them, one of those bundles like I got through Costco, guess what? You might want to check your email. Yeah.
Are they canceling stuff?
Yeah. So this is absolutely a thing. A lot of people secured their PS5 through when Kohl's dropped their PlayStations, and it was a bundle, one of those $639 bundles that, with tax comes up to closer to $700. Kohl's sent out confirmation mails to these people that said they were in fulfillment, but when they opened it up, because the demand was unprecedented, I guess somebody had not put the number of, a correct number for the amount of consoles they had available.
Jeez. That's fucking user
So
error.
they didn't get the stock. They sold things that they did not have stock for. These people got a confirmation email that says in fulfillment. And then that was changed to submitted, and then anything goes past that, you can modify or cancel your order, but it turns out, or a user can't modify it once it goes into that stage, but Kohl's can, because the cancellations started to roll out. A lot of people got order statuses that were in fulfillment, got their orders canceled. There was a ton of emails that went out. The cancellation email said, your order has been canceled because your item or items are no longer available. We apologize for any inconvenience. If you earned any Kohl's cash on this order, it's yours to keep. So whatever Kohl's cash they got from ordering it at Kohl's, they get to keep it.
I guess that's nice.
Some people reportedly have received Kohl's cash as I'm sorry. Some people have not. But bottom line, if you did order your PlayStation 5 through Kohl's as a bundle, even no matter what, it was a bundle, you might want to check your email because you may not be getting it after all. Which is why I bought 2 PlayStations, because I don't
Xbox
trust muggers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, two Xboxes.
Some guy is putting in the
even
number.
With one PlayStation, like, I was on the phone with Costco going, it's coming, right? It's coming. It's like, well, it's in fulfillment. No, it's coming, right? I just need to know because, other places, and they're like, no, we did not oversell to our knowledge. It is going out. And I do have a confirmation and a tracking number that it's in the mail. So I know
Question
I'm not
is,
canceled.
Who actually buys from Kohl's nowadays? I mean...
if they had a PlayStations at Kohl's, everybody would be buying from Kohl's.
That's true.
It's not the where, it's the what at this point.
I feel bad for the guy that they got 100 in stock and he just accidentally put an extra 0 at the end. It's like,
right. Or just accidentally didn't, decided that it wasn't important to actually put, the stock in before he went live with the sale. Because thinking, oh yeah, I'll have lots of time. It's got 100 of them.
I got 100 of them. 2 seconds later,
how fast 300
orders. Oh shit!
Right,
shut it down. Shut it.
That was exactly what happened. It was like fuck, shut it down. Pull the plug. Try to get everything offline, and by that point, they'd already oversold their stock. Kohl's once again proving that they do not understand what they're selling when they're selling it. Had no clue how you could not know that was going to happen. But yes, PlayStation, Xbox, sorry, where is it? Why? Oh, I guess I didn't do all of my banners the way I thought I had. I thought I'd done them all early. So here are your deals for Black Friday. First off, we've got the deals at Target. I'm going to bring this up on the website or on the screen because, this is an article out of GameStop because they're a fairly good source. By the way, if you are not following Wario64, you absolutely should. They do it's a lot of alerts you get on your phone from them, but all of them are really good deals and they are invaluable if you're trying to get an actual console because they let you know when things go live and who's got them. So here's your best deals. Nintendo Switch with Mario Kart 8 for $300 at Target. The Final Fantasy remake is $25 for both the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 at Target. Ghost of Tsushima is $40. Last of Us Part 2 is $30. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle is $15, which is a really good deal.
Really good.
Yeah.
Speaking of really good tactics games, that's also one of the best ones I've played in a long time.
The Minecraft Dungeons, that's the new one that's coming out, or that came out. And Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is $25. Also, if you need some headsets, it's a pretty good deal on the SteelSeries all-in-one. I've heard come see, come saw about the SteelSeries headsets. But this is the screaming deal, Nick. 4K television, 65 inches, $230. Yep.
Careful with that kind of stuff, though. It's worth mentioning stuff that's built for Black Friday are not always good quality. Like, it'll do the thing, but it might break in 2 months.
I do know TCL is one of the typically lower end like HD TVs, but it generally has a good reputation. Like it's one of the lower end ones. So like keep that in mind. But
65 inches of 4K.
Yeah, 65 inches for $230. Like even just has a 65-inch screen. That's a pretty good deal for just that size of thing.
Yeah.
Although at that size, like be careful because it probably won't fit on whatever TV stand you have.
Measure your wall. Measure whatever you've got before you go buying 65 inches of television. Just saying.
Measure twice, buy once.
I remember when I bought the 55-inch that I had, I made sure to check. So like the legs that it has, they go outwards, you know? If I put them outwards, it won't fit on the TV stand that I had. But I made sure, like, to check the website, you can reverse them so that they go inwards like that. And that's how I have the TV. If the legs are outwards, it wouldn't fit, but they go inwards, and so it just barely fits on my stand. So yeah,
there it is right now.
When you go for that
$229.
size, be careful. Don't buy that on impulse, because if you buy that on impulse, you might have to get a stand to go with it.
Yeah, and you can get a 3-year TV protection plan for an extra $50. I would recommend doing that.
Yeah, I do too. It depends what it offers, but at 3 years of like being able to be replaced at what is it, $270? That's actually a good deal. That's a really good deal.
Yep.
Speaking of Black Friday deals, a better PlayStation deal than what PlayStation itself is offering. I know Amazon is selling a lot of PS4 games on disc for super cheap. One of the super deals is Neo 2 for $10.
Really?
Yeah, that's a really good game too.
And on PSN, it's on sale for $25. So already, like, if you're buying it on disc through Amazon, like, you can get some really great deals. And they're doing that for multiple PlayStation exclusives.
Now, hitting Best Buy's PlayStation deals. Add this here. So we've got Watchdog Legions is $30 for X or 1, Series X or 1, X/S or 1. Actually, no, it has to be X because it's going to be a disc. So yeah, you can't get it digital.
No, it's Series. Yeah, it's Series X and Xbox One.
Plus PS5.
Right, but not Series S. Because you have to do S digital. These are going to be discs.
S5. These are all discs.
This is why the X starts to pay for itself.
Yeah.
Witcher complete $40
for the Switch. That is important because it's way cheaper on previous consoles.
Pretty much anything else, it is way cheaper. It's been out for so long.
Minecraft Dungeons $20 there. Persona 4 Royale $20.
Persona 5 Royal.
Sorry, Persona 5. Did I say Persona 4?
Pretty
Persona
good.
5. Yeah, that's
really good.
very good. And Royal is an alarmingly long game.
Yeah.
Persona.
I do know that
Persona looks like Assassin's Creed says, I'm a 200-hour game, and Persona says, hold my beer. It is
I do know
crazy long.
If you have PS Plus, I know Persona 5 is part of that PS Plus collection. So like if you get a PS5, you can get Persona 5 for free.
Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royale?
Persona 5. Not the Royal Edition.
Yeah.
The Royal Edition adds like extra content, another storyline for a character.
And I think it adds another character too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 3, $15.
Oh, fuck, that's
pretty good. That's really good.
That is.
Mortal Kombat 11, $25 for Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, and for Series X. Last of Us Part 2, $30 for the PS4 or PS5.
Also part of the PS Plus collection.
Right. Ghost of Tsushima, $40 for PS4, PS5.
Not part of the PS Plus collection, I think.
Yeah. Doom Eternal, $20. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Gears Tactics, $30.
On Game Pass, though. So if you have Game Pass.
If you Game Pass, doesn't matter. And there's your Ori Will o' the Wisp, $30.
Oh, collector's edition.
But this is the collector's edition. So yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, with the premium packaging and the steel book and the game discs and the art book and the original soundtrack. Then they have that same bundle there for the Nintendo Switch of $300, the same one that Target had. And if you want a wireless controller, another wireless controller to go with your Xbox, by the way, I believe your X, and these are the Xbox Series X/S controllers. I don't know if the one controller works on the X/S.
Yes, like
but you don't have that center button, the take a picture now, the Insta Snap.
Yeah. The one controller does work with the series consoles.
Yeah, they made a big deal about all of hardware peripherals
work. Yeah.
Which is, I gotta say, it made me love my Xbox Series X a little bit more, that they weren't going to pull an Apple and say, "Oh no, you can't use anything from the past."
I think Sony,
it was really nice.
I think Sony has said a PS4 controller will work on the PS5 with PS4 games, but I don't know if a PS4 controller will work on the PS5 with PS5 games.
Okay.
So like you can't play Astro's Playroom or Demon Souls with a PS4 controller.
Oh, okay.
I think. Again, don't quote me on that.
That's crazy that it's by game of the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Can I ask people's opinion?
Because those games use the DualSense controller. Like they use the exclusive features there. That's why.
You had a question, Andrew?
Yeah. Can I ask people's opinions if it's exhausting saying Xbox Series X?
It is. Every time.
I think just say Series, because the one is its own console things. The Series is the next console generation. Just say like the Xbox Series, or just say the Series consoles.
Right.
Or just say the Series X. Like, you don't have to put Xbox in front of it.
The Xbox SS.
There's no PlayStation Series X.
So next item is, Nick, if you want to upgrade a laptop that's actually more powerful than your own fucking desktop, the HP Omen 15.6-inch gaming laptop is $949.
Even on sale, that costs more than what I paid for my desktop.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So yeah, it's got the fact that it's under $1,000 is kind of crazy. A GeForce GTX 1060 Ti graphics card, an AMD Ryzen 7 processors, 16 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte solid state hard drive. That's a pretty good box there for a gaming laptop. It's not, it's not the best, but it's pretty darn good for under $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mid-range laptops in general are just going to be pricier. So,
and if you want an even bigger television,
Jesus Christ,
a 75-inch TCL 4K smart Android TV is $500, normally $800. Also, a really good deal.
For the cost of a PlayStation 5, you can have 75 inches of majesty.
That's 75 inches. That's no longer a television. That's a wall. That's actually a wall of your house.
That is something that you cannot carry yourself. You need at least 2 to 3 people to carry that. I remember when I got the 55-inch, I thought like, oh, I'll be able to like put this in my car to transfer it. It barely fit, and I couldn't carry it myself to the apartment. I need a second person.
75 inches.
75
Nobody needs.
Crazy.
I gotta make a snap judgment here. Nobody needs 75 inches of television. Nobody.
Oh, I think
nobody needs it, but I want it.
It is a crazy luxury item. But that would be great if you were setting up like a little mini theater room. Like if you were just gonna
But if you have
who needs movie theater? Who needs
a
IMAX?
room that is actually, if you have a home theater, I would like to think that you had enough money to not buy a cheap ass TV to put in it. The only people that are buying this are people that have living rooms. And unless your living room is 30 or 40 feet long, you don't need 75 inches of television. I'm sorry. You just don't.
No, what you do is you do that, and then you sit 4 feet away, and it's like, who needs movie theaters?
Yeah.
I'm in the movie.
Yeah, I'm in it. I can feel, I can taste it.
I am the main character.
That is so much TV that you will stroke out sitting in front of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you had like a separate room that you could just put a big TV, a good sound system in, sure.
I will say, speaking generally, like to back up and speak generally of like TVs and sizes, what I have noticed over the decades of slowly upgrading from like 27-inch to like 40-inch to 55-inch.
Mm-hmm.
And each time going from like 720p to 1080 to 4K. What I've noticed about
you don't have a 4K TV.
I do.
Oh, okay. Why did I think you didn't have a 4K TV?
I don't know.
Okay.
But what I've noticed is with each jump of resolution and size, What that kind of allows you to do from a living room perspective is to sit further and further back. Like when I had the 27-inch TV, I would often play like in my parents' house. Like I would be very close, and I basically use the TV stand as a footstool. So I would be sitting like 3 feet away from the TV almost at all times. With the next level up, I could sit further back. And with the TV now, I can sit all the way on the couch, from one wall to the other. And when you do that, you basically kind of get the same level of detail, but you can sit further and further back. And that's it. Like when you go from 1080p to 4K, you don't necessarily notice that if you sit further back. If you sit 3 feet away the entire time, you can definitely notice that upgrade in resolution and size. Like it feels significant. But the bigger benefit, I think, is not having to sit 3 feet away. It's being able to sit farther and farther back.
Right.
Like that's the best thing you can do from it.
You're sitting 3 feet away from like a 55-inch TV. You're too close. You need to get your eyes checked.
Yeah, that's where the strokes come from. Seriously, you're going to give yourself brain cancer. I don't know. Did you have that when you were a kid?
Brain cancer?
No.
Don't sit so close to the TV. You're going to wreck your eyes. That sitting close to television would destroy your eyes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then I was told to eat carrots because they give you good eyesight.
Both were technically myths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The carrot thing apparently is a
But I am saying this authoritatively that if you sit 3 feet away from a 75-inch this 75-inch television, you will get a stroke. You're gonna die.
Okay, health expert.
Yeah, GameHounds is
scientifically proven. Studies have shown, according to the GameHounds.
So what I think.
We are not a medical podcast. Do not take
that means like logically is like 75 inches is fine. Like if you're going to sit 15 inches back, 15 feet back, like that's fine. If you have a big living room, a big TV makes sense because it allows you to take advantage of that larger space.
Right. But if you don't have a big living room, you don't need 75.
Then you're just showing off.
Yeah. And if you have a big enough house that you need that, then why are you worried about the extra $250?
Like Nick said, you underestimate the size of these things. I got a 55-inch that I bought at the store, and I was like, okay, this doesn't look terribly large, but it was not terribly large at the store when next to larger screens. When I took it home, I was like, this thing is gigantic. What have I done?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very fortunate in when I bought our television is that we've got like a bookshelf, and then above it we've got more bookshelves, and then I've got a bookshelf here, and so everything, and then I've got a window right here, so everything has to fit in a space, and I have got it pretty much as big as it can be without getting rid of bookshelves or rearranging furniture, and I don't want to do that. So I've got this size. This is my size. Whatever this size is that fits in there, that's as much as I can do, which is good because it's forcing me to limit when I see things like 75,
500. That's pretty good.
This is a pretty good deal. It would be okay, right? No, it's not. It would be 75 inches would be most of my wall.
Okay, but didn't you have like a 480p TV for like the longest time?
Yes.
It was like 720, but it was like 720 back in 2016, which was like
it was a 720i.
Yeah, that's what was
720i plasma. Top of the line, baby.
That was old in 2010.
A 75-inch TV is a type of TV you buy when you're moving, and so you're going to be rearranging furniture, and so from the beginning you can rearrange your house according to that TV.
Around your television.
Yeah,
exactly.
Anyways. Large TV.
Very large TV. So you can see it's right now $800, but it's going to be on sale for $500. So anything else? I do have one additional item. A couple of additional items. Did I not make banners for any of this? Yeah.
I was browsing for like other news, but there wasn't a whole lot of like big news.
There isn't. There is the what was it? I have to there we go. So there is a rumor going around that was leaked onto Twitter by a user that said he saw a listing on Amazon for something called Red Dead Redemption: The Outlaws Collection for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And said that it had been leaked for Amazon, that this would be both Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 in one next-gen package for the new consoles. If you are excited about this, cool your jets, because in general, everyone is saying they believe that this is a lie, that it is photoshopped.
It'd be amazing.
The rumor came with a photo of the Amazon listing for this thing, a snapshot of the game from Amazon. Bunch of internet sleuths said that it looks as though that the picture was photoshopped, that a couple of different things that made them think that. One is that there's no new art, which you would think that if they were releasing this, they would have new art to it. And I guess some Photoshop experts were like, yeah, this has been photoshopped. Now, if it's real, that's one thing. Maybe they cleaned it up. Who knows? But this has definitely been photoshopped. So it said that there was going to be the remastered. It had a listing of a date, a release date of December 31st, 2021. But as I said, people are pretty much calling shens on all of it. It doesn't seem to be right. In fact, here is the getting back to StreamYard.
December 2021.
That was the leak that it came out of. Gaming leaks and rumors. But we'll see. Yeah, December 2021 was the date. But people are saying, this does not look real.
I mean, that's a hell of a long time to have an advertisement for it. Like,
do I think that it's possible? It's possible. There's crazier things that have been proven true. Crazier leaks but it's still.
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath.
I feel like that's a reasonable thing to expect in time, but probably not like right out of the gate this soon.
Right.
No.
And then my other item.
I mean, if GTA 5 got a PS5 update, would that be the third or fourth console generation it came out for? Because it came out for 360, right? And then it got ported to
the
PS4 generation. Yeah, and then yes. That's crazy.
Yeah. I imagine this one would be easier though, because it'd just be like if it came out for the PC, like they could probably port the PC one faster than trying to
just take the PC port, slap the PS5 logo on it, sell for $60.
Exactly. They'll do it too.
Do the same thing with Skyrim.
And my last item is Epic v Apple. So there has been some developments. First off, Apple has somewhat blinked. They reduced their commission to 15% instead of 30% for small developers, not for Epic, but they have reduced their commission for smaller developers that make under $1 million a year on their apps on the App Store.
Okay, so that's telling to me, I think. Like, they have to think that they have a case. Like, to do anything like that is saying we're giving a little. And if I don't know,
it might actually work for them, that they could actually bring it into court saying, look, we recognize they might be actually setting it up, saying that Epic is a $1 million company. Let's not pretend that these are some kind of small developers. They're not doing this for small developers. They're a multi-million-dollar company. See, because we've actually give a fair deal, a much lower commission. We cut our commission by 50% for small developers,
but not for Epic.
What's your problem? You're a multi-billion-dollar company, essentially trying to, I think, undermine the like.
Yeah,
Epic.
True.
But like lowering that cost does admit that 30% cost was untenable and unreasonable. Like, even if
they are showing some fault,
but they're not being unreasonable in applying it. That being said, that's not the end of the story. It gets so much worse. And Tim Sweeney put his foot in it. So Tim Sweeney this week went on a rant on a couple of different
reading that headline. I've just
other than the fact that it's misspelled. There we go.
That hurts me. That is such an out of touch statement. That is the Pepsi commercial of statements.
Oh, right. Was that the Black Lives Matter flower in the gun commercial?
No. It was their Pepsi commercial.
Like that?
They grabbed a Pepsi and they crossed a picketing line to the cops.
Right, that's the one. Yeah,
wasn't it a Kardashian that did it too?
Kendall Kardashian, or was it Kendall or Khloe, or one of the Kardashians?
One of them.
Kendall.
Yeah, that was very much sort of. Oh, you're very clearly out of touch.
So, Sweeney did say, he told the Wall Street Journal that Apple is merely, quote, hoping to remove enough critics that they can get away with their blockade on competition and 30% tax on most in-app purchases. But consumers will pay inflated prices marked up by the Apple tax. And then he went on to go further and said, going along with Apple's agreement is what is wrong. And that's why Epic has mounted a challenge to this. And you can hear of any, and he couldn't really hear it, and two civil rights fights where there were actual laws in the books and the laws were wrong and people disobeyed them. And it was not wrong to disobey them because to go along with them would be collusion to make them status quo. And that's what he says is at the heart of his fight. Very similar to the civil rights fight where people were protesting unjust laws.
Don't you love it when multi-billion-dollar corporations equate their fight to make money to civil rights
oppression
movement?
Yeah. When that's the thing, right? Is they're equating their ability to make more money to actual oppression. Right. That's where the offensive comes from. Because I side with Epic in this suit. I think the 30% thing is too much and egregious. I agree with them. But they are not an oppressed minority. They are not an oppressed group. They're fighting for their right to make $18 billion instead of $15 billion. That doesn't make them oppressed. Just because you're on the right side of this argument doesn't make you an actual a victim or doesn't make you oppressed. You can be the victim of some larger corporate thing without being actually oppressed and victimized. There are levels of victimization that come from that, and you are not you're not a black person in the civil rights era. You're not fighting segregated drinking fountains. You're not doing that.
You're not fighting people being lynched.
Yes.
People are not dying because you didn't make extra couple of $100 million on your app.
Known as fire hosing Tim Sweeney.
Maybe they should. Maybe someone should have fire hosed him after that one.
Want to be a CEO?
Yeah,
you gotta
Tim
get fire
Sweeney
hosed.
needs to shut the fuck up because the internet was having none of that. In fact, where I read these quotes the first time when it was like that, did he really say that? Was an article called Tim Sweeney needs to stop. Just stop. That was the headline.
And that's the funny thing is, like, when you read that statement, the first part of that statement is good. Like, just stop there. Just
no.
Yeah.
You're not fighting a whole. There is no holy war here, my friend. There really isn't.
You cannot tie emotional arguments to this case. Do not try to tie the fact that they are taking some of your money to emotional arguments. Make factual arguments to the law that, like, hey, this isn't okay. Yeah. Stop there. You're done. Like, we just went on that grounds. You're good.
I think you can make emotional arguments, but you need to tie them specifically into, like, monopolistic behavior, right? Of like, oh, they own this whole storefront and they're taking advantage of, they're abusing people on this storefront and charging too much. But keep it financially focused, because that's what this is. It's a fight over money. And the moment you try to equate a fight over money with a fight over rights, then you get into like real nasty, like out of touch territory. So
hyperbolic and offensive. I mean,
you can keep it emotional.
How offensive would that be to
the money?
Yeah, how offensive is that to people who actually were fire hosed, or families of people who were lynched in the civil rights movement? It's like, yeah.
No, you know what? Oh, you know what Epic should do? They should remake that 1984 Fortnite thing. That Fortnite 1984 commercial, except instead of a Fortnite character throwing the hammer, it should be Martin Luther King Jr. Just to triple down on it.
I mean, if Team Sweeney wants to triple down on this and just go to a hyperbolic extreme of like Elon Musk degrees, absolutely. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
Anyways, just reading that made me react.
I loved your reaction as soon as I put the headline up. You were like, oh no.
It's bad.
GLSXX wants to know where we can get an Xbox Series S. Well, we actually covered that. They are going to be available in very limited supply at where was it? Where did we talk about it? It was at Walmart, at GameStop, and I haven't heard anything about Best Buy. But that being said, you should look up the days and times. Let's see if I can find the days and times.
Yeah.
At Walmart, they're going to restock their Xbox or PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X starting on November 25th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. They have very few. Sony is completely sold out. So, I mean, not Sony, but I haven't heard Microsoft being completely sold out. But only Sony said that they were sold out of the PlayStation 5.
Easier to get a Series
It's a little
X.
easier for an X or an S. That being said, you may not want to get an S because we were just talking about the Black Friday deals. And guess what? None of those Black Friday deals apply for an S. And they're significant.
The Xbox storefront, like the Xbox Live storefront, does have a Black Friday sale going, and it does have
but you have to buy from them. It's talking about monopolies. Well, Martin Luther King would buy an X.
Oh no! I'm just okay. This has been a good podcast.
Martin Luther King Jr. prefers disc-based games.
But an X really, even though you are spending more money, it does allow you to be able to get the best deals on games. And ultimately, it will end up saving you money because you can take advantage of things like Black Friday sales at Best Buy and Walmart that you won't be able to take advantage of. He's back. That you won't be able to take advantage of if you have a PlayStation or if you don't have a disc drive. So just keep that in mind if you're choosing. But at this point, if you really, really want one, I would not, if you can afford to not be agnostic versus X versus S. Be agnostic. I think there are actually probably more X's out there than there are S's. So the other place to go for games for Xboxes is going to be that we know about is GameStop. They don't have a time like Walmart is doing, but they do have a date, which is going to be on Black Friday, September 27th. The online store is going to start at 7 a.m. Actually, I don't know what time the online store is going to start, but their stores open at 7 a.m. and they will have a grand total of guaranteed at a minimum of 2 per store. So it's going to be lining up in front of everybody during a pandemic. But my recommendation to you is if you are going to buy stuff online, which is the safest way to do it and probably the best way to do it because you can go to multiple stores sitting in the comfort of your home. Follow on Twitter Wario64. That is a Twitter account. They are very, very good about posting when things go live and when things are available. I was thanks to them that I knew that Costco had its storefront up and had it loaded and ready to go. And then when I walked away and had kind of given up on a PlayStation 5, they were the one to say, hey, they just went live at Costco and I was able to get one. So make it's going to be your job pretty much on Black Friday. And actually the whole Black Friday week, it is your job to watch Wario64 to see when things go live and be ready to pull the trigger as soon as you can and just reload. So that's your answer.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else before we close out this show? And by the way,
Happy Thanksgiving.
GLS, have faith. It can be done. There are a lot of bots out there. There are a lot of scalpers. We talked about that earlier. There's a lot of scalpers out there. But it can be done. You just have to really, really work at it. It is in front of your computer for multiple hours a day. And it's like clocking into your job at whatever time you need to. You clock in and you work on it all day until you get it.
Put on a TV show and watch some TV while you're doing it.
Keep an alert ready.
By the way, AC Wraith says the links for all this stuff are available if you scroll up in the comment section. Thank you, AC Wraith, for doing that, for putting all those links up there.
So, Nick, want to talk about some Star Wars stuff?
No.
Want to go into?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Sure. What is new in Star Wars? Oh,
No.
Seriously,
no.
It's very good. Yeah, I'm enjoying that show.
I'm sorry. What were you saying? What were you saying? Hello? Oh. It is time to leave, friends. We've had already a 2.5 hour show. Let's not make it any longer than it needs to be.
Actually,
not for us, but for the listeners.
One thing, Disney Plus actually has like a watch group feature that feels like they're trying to do something like what 360 did with Netflix.
Oh, what was it, Netflix Arcade or whatever it was?
Yeah, the theater. But
yeah.
You need their app on your phone in addition to like their app for whatever TV, and like you have to sign in on the app and invite people, and like it feels like all the interaction happens on the app, not on the TV screen. But it's still like, hey, join a room, and then the host clicks play on their TV, and everyone watches something at the same time. Mm-hmm. Neat idea. Like, I would like to see Netflix and all the other streaming services implement something like that. So we might be inching closer to the old 360. Everything 360 is new again now. We're coming back around.
Well, I think that with the pandemic and so many people being separated, that there is a new appreciation for the importance of people distance entertainment.
And
people getting together to enjoy things digitally as opposed to going into each other's homes.
One other downside, to answer AC Wraith's question, the people you invite do need a Disney Plus subscription of their own.
Not going to happen.
On a side note, if you're streaming videos and watching stuff together, something you want to do, I recommend using Discord for it. You can have one person share their screen and everyone else can watch. And you can just kind of enjoy it that way. And in that situation, you don't need everyone to have a subscription, just the one person who's streaming. And it just depends on the person who's streaming internet quality.
Yeah.
So.
Having used Discord just recently for the Among Us games. That's a really cool service.
Discord's good. Discord knows what it's doing. They've done it slowly and built organically and built smart. One of the nice things about it taking 15 years to build an app is that it gets really good after 15 years, and then people all discover it. All right. Anything else before we close out the show? It's not Mandalorian.
What else? So Edie, when are you going to get into Warframe?
Yeah. We can load it up now. You got a PS5. You need new games on it.
I don't have my PS5 yet. Tuesday.
Yeah. So you heard everyone. Tuesday is when you're going to download Warframe.
Okay, I'll download it on Tuesday.
Download it, screen share it.
You are real. What is there a bet to see how long we can make this show?
No. I'm just doing this for my personal entertainment.
I have to talk to you afterwards, so
okay.
About a bet, maybe.
All right. Well, let's close out this show and then we can talk about your bet. So let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 572. We recorded this on Sunday, November 22nd, 2020. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola and Andrew Smith. If you ever want to get a hold of us, our email is gamehounds@gmail.com. Our website is gamehounds.net. We record this show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker.com. That's where our audio cast is. Our video cast is lots of places. It is on Twitch as The GameHounds. It is on YouTube as GameHounds Vids, as in videos. It is on, what was the third one? Twitch, Facebook as The GameHounds. So watch us there. And please don't forget, we do have our Patreon. Our Patreon, actually, we're not asking for a lot. We're not looking to get rich at this. We're just looking to subsidize all of the extra costs that it takes to put this video stream out. So if you could, please go to our Patreon. It is patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask. So thank you so much for listening to the show. We will be back next week for our post-Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's going to be after Thanksgiving, and we're going to be fat and happy. And
happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone in the chat.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Please be safe. You might want to rethink about getting together for Thanksgiving, but if you do, please do the right things. Socially distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, be very careful, hold it outside if you can. It is way safer outside than inside. And if you have to be inside, open your freaking windows, even if it is cold, because ventilation makes a difference. Please be safe out there for your Thanksgiving. Eat well, drink responsibly, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a great night, everyone. Bye. All right. Audio podcast is out. Video is still going. Everybody in the chat room, have a really great Thanksgiving. You have no idea how thankful I am for each one of you for all these years, especially you longtime fans. We have grown up and grown old together. When I started this show, what was it? No, 2008 was when we started. So it is going to be 13 years in September or in February this year. When I started this 13 years ago, I never thought that we would be going when I was well into my 50s. But here we are, and we have gotten old and fat, but happier, hopefully, over the years. So thank you for being here. I am very thankful to you, and I will remember all of you during my Thanksgiving.
Wrong.
What? What?
Dude, shit. Where is he? Okay. Oh.
Nick, never do that again. Never make that sound ever again.
Not to undercut a sentimental point or anything with that.
I am going to get the audio of this. I am going to cut that down and I'm going to make it a fucking ringtone for everybody on GameHounds for free. That is my fucking Christmas present to you. Is every time somebody calls, you get a from Nick.
So I can't go, and I also can't go, all the different sound effects. I can't make
just on a loop.
And yeah, also who I'm thankful for this year, I am thankful for AC Wraith, our link bitch, and for also Steve M. Hawk Ortegon, our social media maven. Thank you so much for being there for us. Oh God. AC Wraith in particular, you are here every single week. And also, Steve, every single week, working their asses off, unloved, unappreciated in the backgrounds. Well, they're definitely appreciated and you're definitely loved, but you're definitely quiet in the background. You are very much the support that makes sure that this show is not as bad as it could be. This show would be far worse without you. So thank you for being here and thank you for doing this every single week without fail. You guys are great. So thank you to Ryan Stevenson, to AC Wraith, to GLS. Welcome. To who else is here in the chat room? I know that Corey Wallace, I don't know if he's still here, was in here earlier. We had a lot of people that were here and I think left. But if you are a long-term listener, yes, thank you very much for being here and have a great Thanksgiving. Nick, Andrew, I'm also very thankful to you. Thank you for doing what you do and being here every week. And I will talk to you next, if not on consoles or text. I will talk to you all next week. Have a very safe holiday. Please wear your masks and don't trust anybody who doesn't.
Yep.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everyone. Bye.